James Lynch here for Home of Fight. Always great catching up with my next guest, Thug Nasty Bryce Mitchell. He's moving down to bantamweight. We're excited for this fight. UFC Abu Dhabi, July 26th. Bryce, how you been, man? How's everything?
I've been great, just training, working the farm a bunch, and of course spending time with my family and enjoying everything.
I wouldn't expect anything less. I know you keep life simple. That's great. Tell me about this decision, dropping down to bantamweight. I think it took a lot of fans by surprise. Is this something you've been thinking about for a while?
No, I pretty much made up my mind right after this last fight. The guy was so much bigger than me, and I really felt it in the second round. I mean, in the first round, he obviously I could tell he was bigger and stronger in the first round, but it was really the second round where I felt it. But I think that I'm a 35er, and my weight's already come down quite a bit since I started dieting. I got this call like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Hmm.
So uh, I'm excited about it, and everything's going good.
Yeah, it's a new division. It's really exciting. How much would you walk around normally when you fought at 45? Were you pretty light for the division?
I would eat as much as I could, like peanut butter jelly almost every day, a glass of milk, just trying to bulk up. And I'd get up to 170,
Okay.
uh, about 170, which typically these 145ers are walking around 180, 190 pounds naturally. They're not having to force themselves to eat to get into that weight. They're just restricting their diet and coming down from 180, 190. Because I hang out with 45ers. I mean, I train with them all the time, so I ask them. But anyways, I feel like if I just stop making myself eat as much, I could actually make 35 possibly easier
Mhm.
because I was making myself eat all the time at 45. So if I just restrict a little bit on my diet and do some extra cardio, the weight seems to be falling off. So far, it already has. So I'm not concerned at all. I'm actually excited about it. And I think the performances will be great.
This is also, if I'm not mistaken, your first time fighting outside the U.S. Are you excited about that?
I am. I
Yeah.
am. And
Yeah.
I really didn't want to
Mm.
at first, but also it was an opportunity,
Mm.
and I wanted to take the opportunity.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna look forward to going to this Abu Dhabi. I've never been there. Don't really know much about it.
Yeah, it'll be an adventure, man. That's part of the cool part of being part of the UFC is you get to travel too, so get to see new places in the world. Let's talk about your opponent, Nurmagomedov. See, I had Nurmagomedov. He's 18-4. What do you know about him? How do you feel like you match up against him here?
Well, I feel like I'm gonna win the fight, and that's just I feel like I can beat anybody. So him specifically, he's good at a lot of stuff. He's good at a lot of stuff. Um, and I respect him. And I'm gonna put on a great show. That's a good thing for the fans. No matter how it goes for me or for Saeed, it's gonna go great for the fans. I can guarantee it's gonna be a fun fight because I'm gonna make it a fun fight.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen you in a bad fight, Bryce. So looking forward to that one.
I wish I could have gone more than 2 rounds my
For the
last
last one,
fight,
I know, but it was still exciting, right? Like I don't think
and
anyone was bored
it
by
was
that fight.
exciting, but
Yeah,
I wanted to go at least a distance. Hell, I was
yeah.
I was upset about getting put away. I was upset about that, so I'm gonna make up for it in this fight.
Take me through camp as business as usual. Your usual guys: Rolly Delgado, T.J. Brown. Like who you working with for this fight?
Um, Coach Julius, also Coach Willie, and Willie's son Rudy. Me and him have been training a lot. He's specifically holding pads for me a couple of times a week, and of course Julius is too. So um, there's my wife is from Pittsburgh, so I met Chris Williams, from Pittsburgh, and he has a fighter Justin Patton, who fights a lot like Nurmagomedov, and so he's going to bring down Justin Patton. And he's a 45er, but he's my size, and he's a perfect look for this fight. So Chris Williams is coming with Patton, and then everybody else that I'm always training with. Like you said, Rolly and TJ.
And you said the weight's going well too, because you were basically telling me here you had to like eat a lot to get to 45. Now it's like you get to do the opposite. At least watch the diet a little bit better. But you eat healthy anyways. I mean, that's one of the things. Living on a farm, you're not eating any of this processed stuff. You're eating really good food, right?
Yeah, I do think that I eat a lot of really good food. Absolutely. Eggs and beef almost every day, and both of those products come from this farm. And in certain seasons, we have a great turnout with our produce too. Right now we haven't started producing anything. How I plan to produce more year round on the farm as far as produce is concerned is by building a greenhouse. There's going to be a time where I'm still working on the infrastructure on my farm. That's one of the main things to start up a farm is everything that you want has to have specific infrastructure. For example, I'd love to have fresh produce this time of year, but really I need a good greenhouse to do that the way that I want to. So I'm going to build a greenhouse and that'll be done within the next year or two. And then I will be having tomatoes and watermelons even this time of year.
And that's something that a lot of people don't even know how to do that, and you're here making like food, and you know where it's coming from, and that's got to be such a big advantage too, because you know how much it costs to go get this type of like healthy meat and healthy food. You're eating it all yourself, right?
Well, not only am I eating all this beef myself, I'm giving it away to the people that I love
Yeah.
because I feel like the good Lord has blessed me with an abundance of health with these cows. That's how I give back to the community, brings people together. But me, the dogs, the chickens, and all my friends have been eating on this cow that I butchered like 3 months ago. I just did it in the garage. This next steer that I butchered, he's probably 1,200 pounds. I mean, he's full grown. He's getting butchered on the 25th. It'll take 2 weeks for the meat to dry. I've got a guy. He lets it dry out, for 2 weeks in a cooler, and that's something I don't do. I haven't done. I'm gonna build my own cooler one day. I mean, I've actually got sponsored by a guy who does a really good job with the air conditioning product. It's called a mini split,
Mm.
and I'm gonna use mini splits to build a walk-in cooler so I can butcher my own
Nice.
cows. But right now, yeah, I butchered two of them and it went great. I really need a walk-in cooler. It would just the operation would be proper. But
Yeah.
if a cow went down in the field right now, I couldn't take it to that old boy with the walk-in cooler. He takes a month to schedule it. So if a cow went down in the field, I know how to butcher it. I mean, I've done it before. I would just prefer to have a cooler, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it would make things a bit easier. When are you heading down to Abu Dhabi? When are you gonna head down there?
So I will head out a couple weeks before the fight.
Nice.
A
Okay.
couple weeks
Get
before,
acclimatized, all that.
just yeah, the whole sleep, the climate, all of that stuff.
What's your prediction? I know you feel confident you're gonna win the fight. How do you see the fight unfolding on July 26th?
I see me getting a finish.
There we go. Didn't even hesitate. That's I know you're serious about it. So that's good. We got that big title fight coming up between Ilia Topuria, who you fought obviously, and Charles Oliveira. How do you think Ilia will do in that fight? Who do you see winning that one?
I didn't know that was a title fight.
Yeah, because Islam vacated, so he's moving up to 170.
I had no clue.
No worries. That's why I'm here.
Man,
Huh?
I'm behind on the news, brother.
Yeah.
Wow, that's big news.
Yeah.
So okay, so Topuria's going for the 55 against Oliveira. Um, man, the first thing I think of is the straight line attacks of Oliveira, like the knees and the clinch being the main problem for Topuria. The boxing advantage goes to Topuria, and he's got a great kick too, calf kick. But as far as on the feet's concerned, I see it going on the feet. I really do.
Mhm.
I see it going on the feet. Oliveira's got knees and kicks up the middle and head kicks, and Topuria's got boxing.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's hard to pick. You know.
Would you give Ilya the
Uh,
edge though? I mean, you fought him. He's got the knockout. We saw him knock out Volk and knock out Max, right? Like, so do you think that's a possibility? Or do you think Charles can do it because it's a different weight class, right?
it's definitely a possibility with Ilia Topuria. Knockout is always a possibility. It don't matter who you put him in there with.
Mhm.
But I mean, if I had to put money, I don't know. I really like Oliveira. It's hard for me to pick against Oliveira because I
Okay.
like him, and I know he's capable of winning head kicks and knees up the middle. And if he can get Topuria down, I do think he'll do great on the ground. I don't think it'll go to the ground though. I think they're going to stand and bang. Knees to the body too. I keep saying knees up to the chin, but the knees to the body. Like if he's clenching the knees to the body, of course the Poirier he always does the good body work, so he's going to be going high and low. So if he was to go low, then that's when Oliveira could do something up the middle, like a knee. But I'll tell you, that's a great fight.
Yeah, it's actually next Saturday, not this Saturday, Saturday after. That's UFC 317. So there you go.
I'll make sure to watch that one. That's a really good matchup.
What about you? Like a win here. This is a new division. You're a pretty notable name. You've got some good wins at 145. Like I would imagine a win here has got to put you in a good spot at 135, especially with fighting a Nurmagomedov, right? Like that always carries some weight.
Yeah, I think so too. The Nurmagomedov name, that ain't no joke. Everybody knows them.
Mhm.
So I agree. I think I'll be able to get up in the ranks pretty quick. I just got to win.
You got a couple more fights left in your contract. What's the latest with that?
Yes, sir. A couple more fights on it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just figured new division.
Looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to fighting them out.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be good. Do you have a couple left then, and then yeah, fight it out and see what happens and all that, right? So cool.
That's right. Fight it out and see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's going to go good. That other one was over a year ago, and that last year it's gone good. So I'm excited.
What do you make of the champion your division now, Merab Dvalishvili? Did you see the fight with Sean O'Malley? Him submitting him?
I did. I
What'd you think?
did. I think Merab is just phenomenal. I've trained with him since I was 19. That's when I met him in New York, Long Island, actually.
Mhm.
But yeah, I've always loved Merab since the day I met him. I remember the first day I met him. I'll never forget it. He threw me. It was head over heels. We was chest to chest, and that was my introduction to meet Merab, and I've loved him ever since.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, is that something you've thought of that maybe you might fight him someday? Would you ever fight him if you ever got to a title shot and he was still champion?
I don't make any decisions, brother. I literally
Yeah.
have zero power. They call me and they ask, "Hey, do you want to
Okay.
fight?"
Yeah.
And I'll just say I've never said no.
Yeah.
I've never said no to any opponent specifically.
Mhm.
Now I'm friends with Marab, so I love Marab. I'm glad that he won, and I think everybody knows that I would pick him because I'm friends with him.
Right.
But the fight was exciting. I honestly thought it might be a little bit more competitive than
Mhm.
it was, but that's how good Marab is. It's the presence when he puts that presence on you, and your muscles start to get filled with lactic acid. It just depletes the opponent. So I'm sure that O'Malley was just filled with lactic acid, feeling exhausted. You know what I mean? And there
Yeah.
wasn't a lot of fight left. Been there myself. It happens. He can train and come back better the next time.
Yeah. Well said. Okay, my last question. I think a lot of people are wanting to know any update on the fishing trip with MMA Guru. I saw your interview. I know he wants to come out to the States. Is that in the works? I know the focus is on the fight, but after the fight, any plans to do any fishing with MMA Guru?
It's in the works. He said sometime in July. If we have the time, we're going to make it happen. But I'm really, really looking forward to meeting him.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully he comes out. He went to obviously to Washington to see Demetrius Johnson, so I think he's a man of his word. I think something will link up here pretty soon. It's pretty neat that that all came together, right?
I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
And I'm calling my old buddy Bob too. And Bob's best fisherman that I know that I hang out with. He catches the most that anybody I know. He goes all the time, and he knows an old guy named Jerry. And they know, but Bob and Jerry, they know all the spots. So when Guru comes to town, I'm calling up Bob and I'm going to say, "Hey, Mr. Bob, can you put me on some slabs, some big crappie and bass, brim? I don't care. Just whatever's biting." And
Yeah.
Bob will know where to go. So we're gonna put MMA Guru on some fish.
There we go. Moral of this interview: trust Bob. Bob knows what's up when it comes to fishing. Bryce, thanks so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. We're looking forward to the fight. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media, anything you want to mention, man, I'll give you the last word.
Well, speaking of Bob too, the cedar behind me, he planed it.
Okay.
He put
Well,
it all
looks
in
good.
too. But Bob, yeah, Bob, he does a lot to help me out. But we go fishing, and so I'll give a special shout out to Bob. Uh, I probably helped him cut these trees down, these cedars. We've cut down a handful of cedars, and he's got a sawmill. He cuts them into boards, and then he planes the boards. He's got a planer. He's got a nice workshop set up for woodwork. But anyhow, shout out to Bob, man.